There's a process to figuring out what's the skill set you want to do and what's the community you're going to join or create for that very thing. Welcome to the Retire on Time Q&A podcast. I'm Mike Decker with David Franson. This show is all about not talking about the oversimplified advice you've heard hundreds of times. It's all about the nitty-gritty. We're answering your questions that you've submitted. As always, text those questions to 913-363-1234, and we'll feature them on the show. David, it's not financial advice. All right, David, what do we got today?
Hey, Mike, I just retired and I completely regret the decision. The problem is the job market is not letting me back in. What should I do moving forward?
So the typical reason for these situations is forced unemployment, or there's, or just you didn't really prepare for the next step, thinking that you could busy yourself into happiness, and it just doesn't work that way. The other thing I want to point out is consider your state of being. Okay, in the world of psychology, I'm not a therapist. But you have what's called BLAST or BLASTed. And this is an acronym that says if you are, bored, lonely, angry, stressed, or tired.
Yeah, okay.
You have elevated, basically you're susceptible to addiction, to maladaptive behavior, to destructive behavior. And what adds insult to injury is if you had a pre-existing addiction or addiction sensitivity is what I'm going to call it. That's not really, I don't think it's a psychology term, but I'm going to call it that.
Sure.
That you were already drinking socially, you're probably drinking more now in retirement, and that's not good. If you had a pornography addiction, if you had a drug addiction, and or you just were recreational with marijuana or whatever, it's probably getting worse. Here's what's going on. When you're in that state, your body is saying you're experiencing pain. And when you experience pain, your body is telling you, you need to get out of the pain. You need to solve this right now. And so what do? You go to the behavior or the substance that gives you the quickest out based on your preferred maladaptive behavior. And that gets you a hit of dopamine. And this creates a vicious cycle for retirees. Now, those who are more seasoned in life probably aren't as prone to the addictions that you see on the streets. I'm not suggesting that you're going to be is it politically correct to say tweaker?
I don't know.
You know, the horrible situations that you see on the streets of these major cities.
Right.
That's not a political statement. That's saying that's rough.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of evidence that suggests that people are turning to drugs early on in life because of isolation. Well, what's the problem with retirement? It's isolation.
Yeah, you're not going into the office. You're not taking Zoom calls, whatever.
You're not connecting with people. There's not structure. There's not a challenge. And so retirees are set up basically to slowly move into agitation, addiction, or addiction sensitivities, or just not preferred behavior. You ever wonder why the elderly individual gets cranky? It's not because they got older.
Right.
It's not because they don't care as much. It's because they're hurting. That's my take on it through the research that I've been poring over these last few years. It's a problem. So when you consider your retirement, like what is this person going to do? Well, it's probably hard to get back in the workforce. Ageism is a very real thing. Very real. So what is he going to do? Well, now you have to create kind of a purpose portfolio or a lifestyle portfolio. And I'm not talking about the, going on a trip. That's chasing ghosts. It's fun, and you could set it up right, but think about it from this way. If you want to get out of your funk, you're going to have to do a pattern interrupt. You're going to have to change your day-to-day.
Okay.
That means you're going to have to stop probably watching the news over and over again. It's important to be informed. I'm not saying don't be an informed citizen.
Right.
But maybe don't watch Fox or Newsmax if you're on the right, or MSNBC and CNN if you're on the left, or whatever your preferred poison is for the political side of things.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that for 4 hours a day. I don't know that's good for you because those programs are built to create rage in you.
Yeah.
That's how you end up getting addicted to it with this confirmation bias and so on. Maybe you stay informed, watch a little bit of it, but you've got to have a goal. You've got to have this pursuit. And I'm not trying to be a motivational speaker. What I'm saying is the absence that you're feeling, that loneliness, that feeling of lack of, is because you're probably not getting enough serotonin, oxytocin, and dopamine in your life. All humans are hardwired to connect, which means you need to join a club. You need to go volunteer at something that matters to you, whether it's at a church or a charity, take your pick. You need to have something that's going to be difficult in your life and then try to pursue it. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
You ever watch someone fly fish that's brand new at it?
I have not, but I've seen like in the movies, it's a very beautiful little like.
Yeah, it doesn't look like that at all at the beginning. You're hitting the back of your hat and your thing's getting tangled up and you're trying to do like a roll cast and it goes into like and your fly falls off. Like it is a disaster, right?
That'd be me for sure.
But if you say, that's a really beautiful thing, I want to learn that. And you're going to dedicate yourself to learning the craft of fly fishing.
Yeah.
How cool would that be?
Yeah.
Here's another one.
Okay.
Let's say you've always wanted to sew. I'm doing really cliche stuff, but you know what? The 55 plus aren't offended as much as the millennials. There you go.
All right.
Let's say you really want to sew. Okay. You don't want to sew quilts. That's not really your thing, but you just want to learn how to create things. And so you sew clothes for fun. You've always enjoyed fashion. Guess what? Your first blouse or dress is going to suck. It's going to be terrible. But you know how good it's going to feel if you keep at it and learn how proper design works, how things fall on different body types in different ways, and the structure and how it's so subtle, but it makes a huge difference, that after several attempts that you get it right, how good it's going to feel. See, that's dopamine right there in a healthy way. That's oxytocin in the pursuit of. And it's even better if you can do it with a group of people and you're sharing the different takeaways, the things that you're learning, and they're sharing what you're learning. Or you're sharing what you're learning and they're sharing what they're learning.
Okay.
You have to build these little communities. And I like it when people build a community about a pursuit or a skill set you want to learn, whether it's you're 60 years old and you've always been fascinated by computers, so you're going to learn how to code.
Oh, yeah.
How cool would that be?
Right.
And so what do? You start with HTML and CSS,
Yeah.
the basics of coding. And you know what? You go to your grandson, you say, hey, look at this website I built.
Yeah.
Or you learn Java, or you learn Python, or you start expanding into something like, I don't know, Ruby on Rails, or all the developers watching this, the software engineers, like, this guy's an amateur.
Yeah.
But React or React Native, right? And people are probably saying, like, what in the world is that? Look, it's codes for like web apps or different, like, if you want to do programming like JavaScript for, well, I don't really get JavaScript. I mean, I get JavaScript, but what is it? Python? If you want to do more quantitative analysis, so pick your poison.
Yeah.
Pick your antidote.
Yeah. There we go. It's
Pick your
even better.
medicine that makes your life better. There you go.
Yeah.
But how cool would it be to be critically engaged, have a community of people that you're developing a skill set. You want to be a woodworker? Great. If you're retired and you can afford to buy basically some basic woodworking tools, you've committed to it. I'll tell you a story I'll never forget.
Okay.
When I was in high school, years ago, I know it looked like it was last year.
Sure.
What is it? 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a bite
20th
of that.
anniversary.
Swallow
I
that.
to go up to Seattle for that bit there.
Yeah.
Just out of high school, I worked at a music shop, and a guy, a good friend of mine, he walks in and says, "Hey, I want to buy a guitar. I want to learn it." I said, "Have you ever played?" He says, "No. I know I want to learn it." I said, "Great. Here's the entry level guitar. It's about $100 at that time. $100, really simple guitar, no problem. The action, so the strings higher on the guitar, so it's gonna hurt more to push it down. It's gonna be harder to learn how to play." But it's cheap. If you want to just try it out, whatever, dabble, you're going to increase your probability of failure with it. You won't like it as much, but it's if you want to just test out, just see if you like it. That's a way to go.
Okay.
Here's a mid-level guitar. Sounds okay. The action's okay. It's fine. If you know you want to do it, you need to buy this guitar. And I put it into a Martin D35. I think it was D28. It was a beautiful Martin guitar, mahogany wood. I mean, just perfectly crafted, and it was like $1,000. It was expensive. And I said, if you know you want to learn it and you want to give yourself the best experience at the beginning, you buy that guitar.
Yeah.
And if you do that and you just play a little bit, You're going to learn faster. It's going to be less painful. It's going to sound better. And you're going to be more committed because you put more money into it. He bought the nicer guitar. And he still plays to this day, 20 years later. And we still talk about it. So you have to, are you committed to it? Or are you dabbling with it? If you're dabbling with it, maybe you rent something like that. Or, you know, but you want to understand that there's a process to figuring out what's the skill set you want to do and what's the community you're going to join or create for that very thing. You want to be developing a skill. You want some sort of intellectual pursuit. You talk about people, you talk about events, and then talk about ideas. It's like the 3 levels of conversations.
Oh, okay.
And the highest level is talk about ideas, to explore ideas.
All right.
That's like the highest level of sophistication. Everyone watching this is like, oh, you know, so-and-so said that, and sorry, I forgot.
Yeah.
But it's normal people talk about other people. It's gossip. A higher level of intelligence or a higher quality of person is going to talk about events. Did you hear what happened? Why did it happen? You're exploring this. The highest level is you're exploring an idea.
Yeah.
So having an intellectual pursuit, an idea that you're exploring or understanding, man, that engages you very much. Like a high level of critical thought there, which is important. You do not want to suspend critical thought. And then you move into the next category, having a group of people that are physically active. Why do people get hurt in retirement? Their muscles atrophy, they fall over, they're done.
Got to keep the strength up for just basic, like, can I lift the groceries?
Strength training is one of the most important things for retirees. And what do people do? They just go for walks. Oh, I'm old. I don't do strength training. No, you don't know how to do strength training in retirement.
Yeah.
You're not 20 years old trying to bench 400 pounds.
Yeah.
But you do want to maintain your strength.
And you want to be able to pick up your grandbaby.
Yeah.
Off the floor.
And maybe even throw them around a little bit.
Yeah.
So you can do, this is a pretty sad admittance to my own physical abilities.
Okay. Sure you want to do this? There's no going back.
Well, no, when I wanted to get into triathlons, and I'm not a triathlete, I would never claim that by any means. I enjoy them. Really, I enjoy the biking and the running. I hate the swimming.
Yeah.
But when I said I was going to start doing this, I signed up for a sprint. Okay, so a sprint is just a short triathlon.
Yeah.
Okay, get the full experience though.
Yeah.
And I vividly remember. So first off, the guys go and then the girls go, right, in the 2 different waves. It was a smaller one. I vividly remember, so I ran, which is a horrible situation, by the way. I had a wetsuit on that I didn't size and chest in the water, so as it shrunk, I couldn't breathe, so I had to open up the back, which created an extra, it's like, what do you call it? Like, resistance. Every stroke had additional resistance against the water because my back was open because I couldn't breathe. That was a horrible disaster. But I eventually got there, and I didn't finish last, by the way.
All right.
It was okay. I finished the swimming, then I'm biking, and then I'm running. And I'm running, and it's towards the end of the race, and I see this person. They always have on the back of your calf, like your age.
Yeah.
So you have your age group and all that. 70. And then I see a little diabetes, like little insulin pump in there. And she's passing me.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like 25 years old or something like that. And I see the 70-year-old passing me with diabetes. And I'm going, I got to make some big changes in my life.
Sure, yeah.
First off, kudos to her.
Yeah.
What a
Well
hero.
done.
What a great example.
Well done.
She is killing it in the best way possible. And I wasn't.
Yeah.
I also didn't really train well for that event. But the point is you have to be engaged in these different pursuits. And my promise to everyone, I can't guarantee, this isn't investment related, so I guess my personal guarantee, whatever that means.
Yeah.
If you structure your life around connecting with people and you have a connection with people in physical fitness that keeps yourself accountable, you're going to feel better. The research suggests that you're going to feel better. If you're around maybe the same group or a different group of people for intellectual pursuits that's challenging yourself and your thoughts, you're probably going to feel better because the research says you're going to feel better. And if you're around people where you're learning a skill set, the research says you're going to feel better. You need to grow. You need to advance. You need to challenge yourself. And then most importantly, I don't know if most importantly, but I would say it's a huge important, have a romantic relationship and have good relationship with your family. Yeah. And if there are issues with your family, work on solving them. You can't force family members to love you or mend things, but you can invite them in to make amends and to heal.
All right.
If you're feeling lonely, I'm willing to bet that one or all of those are lacking, and it's hard to change. It is difficult to change behavior, to change circumstances. But as you slowly advance with this purpose or lifestyle portfolio design, even though you may not ever go back to work because you were forced out or whatever it might be, don't go to alcohol. Don't go to becoming a grumpy, agitated, older individual. Be a light in this world. Have fun. And these are the ways that you can structure your life to be able to do that. Let me tell you one last story.
All right.
Because change is difficult. Anyone that hears this, I'm going to do it, they're going to burn out. It's like all New Year's resolutions just die in January. Go slow. Here's what I mean. This is a true story from a dear friend that told me this. And basically, it was an overweight individual that wanted to just get healthier, but everything they tried wasn't working. So then he saw a professional and said, all right, this wasn't a fitness professional. This was a therapist, a psychologist, a coach, really, a personal coach.
Okay.
Says, all right, here's what I want you to do. We're going to slowly change your pattern. So how do you go home? And where's the gym? And where's work? They figured out where that was. And he says, all I want you to do is just on your way home, drive by the gym. That's it. And I want you to do that for a couple of weeks and make that your new path. It might cost you an extra 2 minutes on your drive home, but let's just go that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Just so you think about it. They says, all right, great. So he does that for a little bit, and then they change it a little bit. Now he's going to go home, and he's just going to put on his gym clothes, and that's it. Put on your gym clothes, play video games, veg out, eat whatever you want. Doesn't matter. Just do that one thing.
Interesting.
And it became a habit. So he'd go home and he'd put on gym clothes every day, and that was it.
Okay.
And then once that became part of his routine, it was just like automatic. You just thought like brushing your teeth. You just brush your teeth. Goes home, puts on the gym clothes, and then he's going to drive and sit in the parking lot at the gym for 1 minute and then go home. He never even went to the gym. And this is like over a month now. He's never gone to the gym. But do you see how he's slowly altering the routine, the behavior?
Right.
So then the next one was you're gonna go, like people aim way too big. You got to aim smaller if you want to make big changes. So you go home, get your gym clothes on, go to the gym, walk into the gym. Now you're paying for the gym membership. You're gonna scan. You're gonna walk. Just go to the back and then walk out. Don't exercise.
Wow.
Now you need to understand this is a morbidly obese individual.
Okay.
They're scared of the gym. They're frightened of the gym. The idea of even working out is just terrifying. So if they go all out, there's a good chance they're going to burn out. But what are they doing? They're building more long-term habits of just building it into the routine so it feels normal, that if you don't do it, something is off. See, your history, your past experiences shape your habits. And if you can alter your habits with new historical experiences, you've changed your routines, and your habits change, your habitat or your state of being is going to change. So the key is to have new experiences. So the slow adjustments that he was making here allowed him to eventually, I think it was, he then went in and did one exercise and that was it, and then left. And then he started doing more exercises, and it slowly went into then a more informed workout routine, and his life completely changed.
Yeah.
But he didn't go and say, I'm going to give up all sugar and I'm going to give up video games and I'm going to do this. Doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Especially when you have one moment where you're bored, bored, lonely, angry, stressed, or tired. You're right back in. Everything's interrupted. You're going back to old ways.
Yeah.
You've got to build slowly. So you don't say, I'm going to do golf and fly fishing and quilting and start a garden and all. Just slowly start to adjust things and think about it that I'm going to be very happy within a year's time, and I'm going to get there in a very sustainable way that's going to stick. Because the last thing you want is to try and fix it by an incredible high dopamine experience that's unsustainable. You want to slowly shift, and these are the chemicals. Instead of being sad, anxious, lonely, depressed, which I believe the chemicals are norepinephrine, testosterone, and cortisol.
Okay, yeah.
Those are the drugs that are making your life miserable. You want to slowly change the activities so that your body's producing serotonin, oxytocin, and dopamine on healthy, sustainable levels. Because if they're healthy and they're sustainable, then your life slowly becomes happier. If you take the quick hit, it's not sustainable. It's not going to work long term. It's insatiable. Be careful. And if you enjoyed this show, make sure to subscribe to it wherever you get your podcast and or on YouTube. As always, go to retireontime.com for more resources, calculators, planners, workbooks, the book itself, and much more. Thank you for spending your time, your most precious asset, with us today. We'll see you in the next show.